This episode of the Esoteric Order of Roleplayers is brought to you by the generosity of our backers on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/esotericrp to find out how you can become a backer too. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with all the latest news, and join our Discord community to chat with players and fellow listeners. The Esoteric Order broadcasts from Santa Fe, New Mexico. We recognize these episodes are produced on the traditional territory of the Tewa-speaking Pueblo peoples, and we acknowledge their community, their ancestors, their elders both past and present, and future generations. The Esoteric Order of Roleplayers present Maneater, a Palladium story, with David Larkins as the Game Master.
All right, so before we get into it today, we have a couple new patrons to thank.
Ooh, That's remarkable.
It's been a while, you know. The world is healing, and we have new patrons.
Well, I don't know about that, but we have new patrons, which is very sweet and
It's
nice.
very sweet. Always appreciated.
Yes.
So thank you to Hayden McBrady.
Hayden McBrady.
A fine Scottish name. And Tyshawn Wise.
Tyshawn.
Yes. Who
Thank you.
Both backed us this month. So sorry it took a little while to get around to saying thanks, because this is our first and last episode of this month.
Yay!
We're going to have more coming out in April.
Well, nice. So. Thank you to Hayden and Tyshawn.
Yes, thank you.
I'm looking at my notes. Why do I have math on my notes? And then I have something that says Nasfert.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is that?
The fuck is a Nasfert?
Why did I write that?
Oh, we'll get into it.
Oh, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Oh, I know.
Conqueron. What was that?
Look, I know it's been 2 months since we played.
Yeah,
so
well,
I don't begrudge you anything.
It has. Yeah, no, it has been about 2. It has been about 8 weeks.
Yeah, in fact, on my Google Drive where I keep my very detailed scenario notes.
Yes, very detailed.
Oh man,
what
did it say? It was like January 27th, or
yeah,
I think it was
mine's January 30th, 2021.
Oh, 30th. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been almost 2 months. So
February really wasn't a month.
No, I don't think that actually existed.
No.
I think that's like a conspiracy.
But it's almost
to
April.
Convince us that a month called February happened.
Oh, don't start with that. Don't start with that. I see you're wearing a Cream of the Crop t-shirt.
I am.
With Macho Man Randy Savage.
I am indeed.
He's kind of one of our totems for this.
Yes, although he's been sent away, if you remember.
He was in shackles, and I think Maneater was a little happy, like, yeah.
She should be.
Now you know how this feels. It sucks. But you've kind of gone through, I mean, I would say that not playing was, well, it's for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons being trying to really think about how we're moving forward with Palladium.
Yes, indeed. So, I don't know if I've talked about this. I might have talked about this during our wrap-up session for By the Sword.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was never my intention originally to broadcast Palladium Fantasy on our podcast.
You didn't want to, yeah.
I didn't want to publicly exhibit myself like that.
Oh my god, it's filthy.
But
Jesus.
Yeah, it was just a thing Alex and I were doing for fun.
Well, wait a minute. I was part of that.
Well, no, I'm saying initially. Initially, it was just a conversation between me and Alex, and then
I horned in.
You did. You invited yourself into the game.
I did. I so did. Okay, that's better.
You full on invited yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Which was fine. And then,
well, you keep saying that, but I don't know.
Hello, we're sitting here playing, a man-eater story. So obviously,
yeah,
and
pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was. Right. So as I was saying,
right,
and hopefully the audio quality is better. But anyway, yeah, no, it was just a little experiment because we wanted to go back and kind of examine this system of games from our youth. And so recently, Alex and I were having a chat, and we realized that we'd kind of reached the end of what we call Palladium Phase 1.
Yeah, okay.
Which was just kind of giving the Palladium system a fair shake. Because even after By the Sword wrapped up, Alex and I kept playing various little Palladium games over the course of the rest of the year. And talking about it and really giving it way more time and attention than it needs or deserves.
Oh no!
But it's been a fun exercise in like deconstructing, like,
right,
how are these games designed? What do they lack? What do they?
Well, a lot. I'll say they lack a lot.
Well, and in the course of our discussion, we reached some interesting conclusions, which was that the Palladium system itself didn't bother us as much as we thought it would. That really the games suffer mostly from, and I say this as an editor, they suffer mostly from bad editing. I think if they had, professional level editing, you could keep them more or less as written and just polish them up so that the information's presented more, clearly and consistently. There are less like repetitions and contradictions in the text. Right. And everything's, kind of clear.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where we landed with the system. Like the system itself, once you kind of clear away the muck, is actually pretty fine, pretty decent. I say all that as I'm just about to drop a whole pile of house rules on your head.
I know.
But,
hey man, keeps me young. What can I say?
Yeah. Keeps your brain active.
Yep.
The thing that was surprising to us was working with the Palladium.
Wait, I said it keeps me young, and you're like, yeah, it keeps your brain active. So no, it doesn't keep you young. It just keeps your brain a little more agile.
Well, yeah, agile brains are a sign of youth. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, the thing that surprised us was, especially with the fantasy setting, like just because we were sort of trying to comb through the material over the fall and winter and like sort of assemble like a setting Bible basically.
Right.
And we just kept running into all these like massive gaps, like things that just aren't addressed or are, of course, my classic rant about the Wolfen in the Western Empire,
I still find that to be incredibly like stupid.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm playing a Wolfen just for funsies, but like, it's like, why would you leave out?
Yeah.
That seems like crucial information.
Well, it was almost more like a retcon, but then it's like, that's a pretty big retcon.
Yeah.
That's a massive retcon. And to put it in another book that has nothing to do with the Western Empire. Anyway, this is what I'm saying though. Okay. This is an issue of line editing.
Right.
Which I can speak to with some authority at this point.
Yeah.
I'm still learning that craft myself, but it's like you have to keep track of like what's been said before, and then if you are going to change it, you have to do it in a way that is going to reach the people it needs to reach, basically. Yeah. So like put out a revised Western Empire source book, right? Don't just keep publishing the same source book, that later got contradicted by other material. You know what I mean? So. Anyway, it's an editing issue with the setting as well. But, the conventional wisdom online is like, oh, the Palladium system's horrible, but the settings are amazing. And it's like...
That's weird.
I'd say those are both true on a very, very macro level because the Palladium system itself is very clunky and old-fashioned and definitely needs some cleaning up. But it's not horrible. It's perfectly playable. And as far as the settings go, yeah, they're packed with like a ton of amazing material. I mean, I'm not going to like say, it's all hype. There's no substance. But, you know, there's also just big things missing. You know, things I've gotten used to with settings like Glorantha and whatnot, where it's like, these are things that should be addressed. Like, you know, what is the culture of the Western Empire? We don't really know. Like, what are some typical names? We don't really know. Well, like, there are no names of, like, lists of Wolfen names to draw off of.
Right.
You just have to comb through the books and, like, make lists based off the NPCs. And those are widely variable. It doesn't seem to be any kind of, like, underlying, like, let me just figure out what the Wolfen language sounds like, and then I can maybe come up with some names. You know, it was just like whatever the author like thought of in the moment, you know?
Right.
It's very slapdash, you know? And so there were these big gaps, which, you know, that's why I stopped running by the sword, is I thought it was my problem, where I'm like, I'm not getting a good grip on this setting, and it's because I don't have the time to do it. Well, I took the time, and I'm still like, there are things lacking.
Right,
there's a lot of patches I need to spackle over, you know, which is fine. I mean, once I kind of got to that point, I'm like, well, that's fine because, you know, that allows me to do some world building.
Right.
But it's more work. It's more work that I have to do, you know, which is irritating.
Yeah, totally.
But anyway, that's been another reason why we've had a little bit of a pause, is because Alex and I were sort of trying to figure out, like, okay, so that was Palladium Phase 1. What does Phase 2 look like? Do we just keep pressing on as before? Or do we, you know, change things up a little bit? So for a while there, we were looking at maybe running the Palladium setting, but with a more modern system, especially like a system that would allow some, like, you know, sort of extrapolation of the setting in game, right? Like, it might have some mechanics in it that would allow you to kind of, like, make up details on the fly.
Right,
you know?
right.
I will spend a story point to say that, you know, this city once belonged to the Giants or whatever. You know what I mean? Ultimately, though, we decided to stick with Palladium.
Yeah.
Because, again, the system itself, actually not that bad. And we can still focus on the world building as we go along. You know, we don't need story points for that.
Right.
You know,
right.
It's fine. But I did, in a flash of inspiration, come up with a house rule kind of unified dice mechanic system that I want to guinea pig on you and this game. So if that's okay, I want to guinea pig it on you.
Oh my gosh. The music seems a little loud.
Oh, okay. Just turn that down then.
Yeah.
How's that? Better?
That's much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel bad that you were talking that much and the music was that loud, but
well, I can
hopefully people can
adjust it in post.
Okay. Hopefully people are sticking with it.
Anyway.
So you have a guinea pig rule.
I have a guinea pig rule. So here's the issue with Palladium.
Wait, I thought you just went over all the issues with Palladium.
As a system.
Oh. All right.
Is that its task resolution mechanics are all over the map, right? Sometimes you're rolling a d20, sometimes you're rolling a percentile die. Sometimes you want to roll high, sometimes you want to roll low.
It's very inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent. And so I think part of what we can do here to sort of like make that mental bandwidth a little less taxing is to get into a unified dice roll mechanic with Palladium. Okay. Oh, the other thing, of course, is that attributes under 16 don't actually matter, right? It doesn't. There's no material difference between having a physical prowess of 10 and a physical prowess of 12. You know, there's no big, you know, it's like, oh, just role play it. It's like, well, how do you role play that? How do you role play the difference between a physical prowess 7 and a physical prowess 12? You know what I mean? Like, you don't really, you know? So, you know, it's like, what point do attributes serve? You know, if they're under 15, once they hit, or under 16, once they hit 16, you start getting bonuses.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
I see.
There are no penalties for having low attributes.
Okay.
The expectation is that you would just role play it and get experience points for that. But, you know, only that only works in the extremes. Like, I have an IQ of 5, so I'm going to play my character really dumb. It's like, okay, that's cool. But what does an IQ of 8 mean? What does an IQ of 12 mean? How do you role play that? You know? So
slightly less dumb.
I'll take a little less time to answer a question.
Right.
And I'll answer it just a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's impossible.
Right.
All right. So it would be nice to have attributes actually matter.
Yeah.
You know,
that would be
on some level. Okay. So what my system presupposes is it's a D100 based system. Okay. It's always roll high. It's always rolling against a target number. Okay. With me so far?
Yeah, just all my D10s are still on my other dice thing.
Should we pause so you can go get them?
No, I'll work with it.
All right. You can borrow one out of my collection here. I have some
No, I'm
proper
not going to touch your
there.
tainted dice.
Sure you are.
No, they're not tainted. I don't like
These aren't tainted. This was blessed by a bishop.
Yeah. All right, anyway, so D100.
Blessed by a minor bishop.
D100.
All right, so they're D100 based. All right, so basically the core mechanic is you're going to roll D100, okay? You're going to add a relevant attribute to that, okay? Plus whatever your skill or combat modifier might be, okay?
Okay.
So we'll do an example here. For like a basic skill test.
Yeah.
Let's say first aid. Perfect example there, right?
Yeah.
All right, first aid. So Maneater has a first aid of 40.
Okay.
And has an IQ of 22.
Yeah, she's super brilliant, which I don't know why.
Okay.
It's really dumb. I think it's stupid.
I mean, you can switch that out if you want. You could switch IQ and mental endurance if you want. She'd have an IQ of 5.
No, it's fine.
All right. Anyway, so...
by the way, this is like the 5th character sheet I've had for this character.
Quiet. So...
By the way, he has my character sheet in front of him. I've yet to see this because he's unveiling this new system. Okay.
I know. All right. So IQ plus first aid is 62. Okay.
So I want to roll above it?
You're going to add that to your roll. You're going to add that to your roll.
62?
Uh-huh.
I'm adding 62 to whatever it is I roll in the D100. What am I going to get? 250 or something?
Oh, possibly, yeah. Because
what?
Your usual target number for a skill roll is 100. You want to hit 100 or better. Okay, so...
What? Okay, I want to... Okay.
That's for a normal task. Okay.
Okay, for a normal task.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, God. Okay, go on.
Yeah. I know. I knew you'd love this. All right, so...
Keep going.
All right, so I'm going to roll... I rolled a 74. So you don't actually have to do the math most of the time, right?
Most of the time?
Yeah, because...
Oh, my God.
Well, it's like... Check it out. It's like with Pendragon.
I have no qualms adding things. I'm not one of those people. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
But, ow. Oh.
She's lying, so she banged her elbow against the table.
No, that's not true. Oh, no. I don't mind adding.
All right. You all right?
That's my bad elbow.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
You okay?
Whatever.
All right.
136. So 136. That's the total.
Yeah.
Plus the bonus. So I made 136. How do I even... Keep going.
Okay. All you need to do is hit that target number. That's why I'm saying it's like you don't technically need to like do the addition every time because it's like in Pendragon, like you have a skill of 28.
Right.
What do I need to make a crit? 12.
12.
Right, 12 or better. So it's like that's really just what you're rolling for, right? You're rolling that D20. You're right there.
No, I'm just having intense self-loathing.
Oh
Go on.
God. You're rolling that D20.
Yeah.
All you're really looking for, I rolled a 19, I critted.
Yeah.
You're not going like, okay, 19 plus 8. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you can if you want. Again, if you want to keep your brain agile and youthful.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so in this example,
right, I hit over 100. So.
You're adding 62 to your roll, so you know that roughly, hey, as long as I roll like
over 40
or above, yeah, like, I got it. Boom. Hey, I just rolled a 41. Look at that. So there you go. I made it.
Cool.
All right.
Then what?
When you do have to add it, much like in Pendragon, this has a lot of Pendragon in it.
No, really.
This has a lot of Pendragon and Cyberpunk in it. Strangely enough.
Shocking.
It's almost as if I'm running Pendragon and Cyberpunk.
Almost.
Also, concurrently to this. All right. When you do have to add is when you're making an opposed roll, right? So that comes in with combat usually, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, basically what I did is I went through and I multiplied all of your bonuses by 5.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you're fighting with a spear. You have a plus 15 to strike. Right. So you're going to roll 60 plus 15, 75. Now your opponent is going to try and parry, just like, and you remember this mechanic. It's the same basic mechanic, but it's just not using a d20. Okay. So your opponent then needs to beat that 75 with their parry bonus. Let's say their parry bonus is also plus 15.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 0-6. So they did not,
Ooh.
But if I had rolled, say, like a 65 or something, we would know that they beat you because, just really quickly off the top of our head, we know that that's more than 75 with their bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's basically it. That's the core mechanic. Does that sound okay?
I don't have a choice. So you're talking to me as though I have a choice.
Well, your choice,
and I have something else to present to you to be like, this is better.
Your choice would be like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Can we just please use the system as written? And
I don't like the system as written.
Okay.
I mean,
Does this sound like something you can hang with?
I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
All right. There are a few other little things like how to determine critical hits and whatnot that we'll get into as they come up. The only thing that I want to address before we move on is I also stole a mechanic from a game called Rollmaster.
Okay.
Now, Rollmaster is also a D100 based system, and it has a fun little mechanic of exploding dice. Right? Like in Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
But they explode in both directions.
Oh.
So if you roll a 96 to 100, you get to roll again and add it. Okay? So you can get some pretty high totals.
What in the world?
Mm-hmm.
So if I rolled that, I have a 62 to my first aid, right?
Yeah.
And then I roll what?
Well, let's say you rolled a 98, right? So that would...
a 98 from that roll, not adding it together.
It has to be a natural.
Natural.
It has to be 96 to 100
naturally
natural.
Exploding dice.
Yeah. So let's say you rolled that 98, you added 62, that's 160. And then, oh my God, I just rolled, a 12. Well, that's not exciting. But...
Oh my God.
Oh, a 62. Let's make it
wow.
that. So that would make it, 222. So, you can get some really high totals.
All right.
Which affects criticals and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay. But it also explodes in the other direction. So if you roll a 01 to 04 natural, you have to roll D100 and subtract that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
All right. So what's the range again?
96 to 100 is exploding upwards.
Okay. And then
01 to 04.
01 to 04.
I call that imploding.
Oh, look at you. Mm-hmm.
And that's minus 1d100.
Minus 1d100. And that's plus 1d100. Oh my God.
Which makes it pretty likely that you're going to fail.
Yeah.
But you can explode and implode once per roll. So like if you rolled a 01 and then went ahead and rolled a 99, then you'd be exploding back up. It's chaotic and swingy, and it's a lot of fun in playing.
Okay.
I played Rollmaster a few times in the 90s. I always enjoyed that part of it. So once you experience it in play, it's
I'm sure it's fun.
It's fun. Okay, yes. As you observed, this will be the final version.
I definitely don't believe you on that.
Of the character sheet.
Can I have my whole folder, please?
Oh yeah, sure. Of course.
Thank you. It has all my other notes and character sheets in it.
Whatever.
I'm like, don't take my folder. It's like sad little purple file folder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is my new character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
It's filled in by David.
It's got most of the stuff you need on the front page there, including a quick combat reference in the lower left, and then your more extended combat stuff's on the back side.
All right. I have a lot of money.
You do.
What about my saving throws and all that? I only have psionics and horror factor.
So the horror factor, the blanks are for bonuses. So yeah, you only have a bonus to your horror factor save.
Okay.
Psionics, I just wrote in the baseline save target. Those are all target numbers. Okay. Although the one thing I wasn't able to change was that, because that's on a 1 to 20 scale, but I have my notes here for what those are on a 1 to 100 scale.
All right. Play music. Track humanoids. I just want to make sure I'm reading all this.
Yeah. You can read my writing.
Don't walk.
Okay, so that was something I noticed. I noticed you had tumbling as a skill,
right?
And I'm like, what the hell? Because that's not in the main rulebook. I don't know where that came from. So I had to find it. I had to find it in the pages.
If I did not hear it come out of your mouth, I did not write it down. I'm just saying.
It was written on your character sheet.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You said something about it.
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
Well, it came out of somewhere. I don't know where.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so I had to find it in the pages of a Rifter magazine. What? And, but the hilarious thing about it is that it's one of those skills like gymnastics that then unlocks other sub-skills. So it gave you stilt walking and pole vaulting.
This is so dumb.
It also gave you a backflip, so you can backflip out of combat, which is pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where is that on here?
Second page, you flip over.
Oh, no.
You'll see it's in the combat section up there, backflip. I think it's like a...
Body block.
Yeah.
Flying reverse turning kick. I don't have that.
Well, you don't have that. Yeah.
Backflip. Yeah, 20. 20. Is that the damage?
Okay, so backflip is a plus 20 if you're using it as a dodge. Okay. And then 40% is like if you just wanted to say, like, hey, everyone, look at me. I'm going to do a backflip. That would be like a skill, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense. You were a gladiator. You had to put on shows. But Absolutely. I'm just picturing this Wolfen coming out on stilts, like
even taller than I am.
Oh my God!
Like 12 feet.
Like you're 15 feet up off the ground.
Wait. So why are my disarm, drawing blood, crush, squeeze, claw, bite, beheading, strike? Why are those on the back? I feel like
it's important facts, man.
I know. I feel like should be under special abilities.
Well, I wanted to group them all in the combat section. Okay. Yes.
Well, again, another character sheet this seems workable, but
okay,
I'm not too keen on it. IQ, mental endurance, mental affinity, physical stamina,
physical strength,
PP,
physical prowess.
Okay, so strength, prowess, endurance.
Yep.
And what's B?
Beauty.
Oh, physical beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So just to quickly review, your mental affinity is kind of your charismatic personality.
I'm not very.
So you've actually been playing that very well. And
it's not difficult. It's not difficult to do.
And then your physical beauty is your outward appearance. So which I don't know.
But what is this on a scale? Like, who's determining this? I might be a 10 in like, I'm a Western Empire, 10.
You're an Arcadia 10.
But I'm a Wolfen, 80 or something.
7.
Nasford.
All right.
Is that the town? Is that where I'm from?
Indeed. All right.
Okay,
so,
Wolfen Town.
Mm-hmm. Come on down to Wolfen Town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. That's one of the things the game is suspiciously silent on. Although, considering that these games seem to be written from kind of a human-centric
it varies very
POV,
biased. Yeah, it's very biased.
I would say that it is the subjective physical beauty of you to other humans.
All right, that's rude.
But I guess it could transcend species. Physical beauty is physical beauty, right? Is it an objective rating? Perhaps. Who's to know? Who's to say?
I just think this is biased, and just like many other Palladium pieces, it is human biased. So
yes.
I don't really care. That doesn't mean anything.
It's Michigan biased, really, if we're being honest.
They're not attracted to Wolfen in Michigan.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe they are. There's a lot of wolves up there. There were at one time.
Not with this physical beauty rating that I have.
What do you have?
10.
Oh, that's average. That's right in the middle. Yeah.
Then why is my intelligence 22?
That's a question we've never really answered. Do you want to venture an answer on that right now? Live on microphone?
I'm super smart.
You're super smart, of course.
I don't know. You said I couldn't switch things around, and so I was like, all right, I guess that's what I rolled for intelligence.
Wait, when did I say you couldn't switch things around?
I don't know, at some point.
Like a year ago?
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, you can switch out your mental endurance.
I'm not going to put it as a
IQ.
5. No, I'm not going to do that. I think that was the only thing you allowed me to switch it out with. Like, I couldn't just, switch them all around.
Well, the reason you can't switch it with mental affinity is because Wolfen already are rolling 2d6 instead of 3d6. So they're not naturally charming individuals.
Again, biased. It's biased. Like, I don't... Anything that comes out of that book, I'm just instantly questioning.
I just think... See, here's the thing. I think based on the way you've been playing your character, it might make more sense to have a really high mental endurance because you've been through a lot and you've kind of rolled with the punches, but at the same time...
Have I?
Yeah, but at the same time, you've sort of demonstrated a very, like, leap first, look later kind of attitude, you know? Like, oh shit, here comes the Baron, I'm turning and running, you know, or...
What would you do in a situation like that?
Or I'm just going to attack the Emperor, or whatever.
What would you do in a situation like that?
There were other things you might have done.
Like what? They don't like me. They're instantly biased. If anything, you created a world that really made me go, oh.
I created a world?
Yes, you created a world where I was like, okay, Wolfen are not safe in any way, shape, or form, and they're going to imprison me and kill me as soon as they see me.
Right.
So I need to just leave. Always.
I'm going to just say go ahead and switch out your IQ and your mental endurance.
Why? What does mental endurance do?
Mental endurance measures the amount of mental and emotional stress the character can withstand. I think that's much more appropriate the way you've been playing Maneater to have a 22. Wouldn't you agree?
Are you saying that I'm playing it stupid then?
Not necessarily, but she's not very well read. Intelligence is
Why
like
should she be?
Yeah, intelligence is like your learning and your, you know, kind of
Okay.
Yeah, it's like your cognitive intelligence, right? Maneater's much more just kind of instinctual, right?
Yeah.
So I think that fits.
Okay.
There is a bullshit rule that in every
No.
Palladium game that says that says your IQ attribute is equal to your actual IQ times 10. But it's like
What?
it's so ridiculous because it's like
Your actual IQ. How smart do
like
you think we
like
are?
as if Maneater's taking an IQ test, first of all. Secondly, as if IQ tests were like legitimate in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form.
Like,
Thirdly, it's like you can easily roll a 3 intelligence, like if you roll triple ones.
Yeah.
And it's like you're going to play somebody with an IQ of 30, like somebody who's like developmentally disabled to the point that they
Wow.
would have been institutionalized in the, 1950s. Like, I mean,
weird.
yeah, it's just bizarre. I mean, it's a really odd because none of the other attributes are like, oh, your physical prowess times 10 equals your, whatever, Gatorade athletes measurements,
Gatorade athletes? What's that?
I just picture like some Gatorade ad where they're like, doing like, scientific,
But they have you hooked up to a machine or something?
Yeah, exactly. With the little medical wires and nodes and whatnot.
Wires?
Or like in the training sequence in Rocky IV with Ivan Drago. Drago. Anyway. Okay. So all that aside.
I'm feeling weird about all of this, but
I knew you would.
I'm here to play.
Good.
So
all right.
let's do this.
Let's get into it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. So.
I don't know if we need music to do that. Like,
what? I've got music playing.
I don't know. I don't know if we needed music to like talk about the rules switching and all that.
Oh well, we had to cut it somehow. We had to put some frosting on it somehow.
If you're still listening, you're a brave listener.
That's right.
Very brave.
And also very, very stupid. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll just get my papers in order here. There we go. All right, so yes, Nasford, let's recap from last time. What do you remember from last time?
I remember that we so I was led from this horrible town by a pack of Wolfen to this like encampment.
Right.
By Grawl, which was one of the Wolfen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guide, like a red panda guide.
That's the Kankaran thing that you wrote down.
Kankaran.
So Kankaran are the species
of
that are the kind of
panda.
canonically they're fox-like, but I'm like, nope, they're red panda-like.
Yeah. So this left side wound was the name of this panda. Mm-hmm. I mean, sorry, Kankaran. Mm-hmm. Kankaran?
I say Kankaran, but that's just my...
Kankaran.
That's my non-regional specific American.
Oh, that is actually very Western of you.
Yeah.
The
cankerins are out tonight.
That's right. Okay. So they said that they would lead me to a Wolfen town, the Wolfen town that I needed to go to. Mm-hmm. And that Callus, well, the Cankeran didn't say this, but Grawl basically was like, what do you want to do with this human? Like, do we just kill him, or like what do we need to do with this guy?
Right.
And so
that's right. You had the power of life or death.
Well, I mean, not really. It was just like, we're going to imprison him. So I'm like, okay. Like, he couldn't go with me.
Yeah.
And I felt conflicted about it for some reason. But yes. They let him off in shackles, and that was good.
Yep.
And so he was led to an uncertain fate. And I told them not to hurt him, only in the sense that, like, I kind of wanted to do it myself.
Ooh, shit.
If I need to.
Okay, all right.
And, yeah. So we went along our way to the Wolfen town of Nosfert. Mm-hmm. And we arrived. Mm-hmm. And that was basically it. Like, I showed up, and they were having a service there. Mm-hmm. And there was someone there, I think, that's related to me.
Okay, so yes, basically, yeah.
At the church, like at this like little, I don't know if it's a spiritual temple or some type of religious building of some type.
Okay.
Spiritual place. The music.
Music got very excited. Yeah, so basically you had a very anticlimactic overland journey.
I think considering everything that had happened before, it was very chill, and I welcomed it.
It was, and you know, it gave us some opportunity to build out your backstory a little bit, which was fun. And
yeah, it's pretty dark.
It was, actually. And then you arrived at this town of Nosfert. So Nosfert is the capital of the Oak People tribe, which is one of the tribes of the Wolfen Empire. Mm-hmm. And it's, situated in the middle of this vast pine forest on the banks of a large lake.
Right.
And surrounded by wooden palisade walls. And, you were led inside, and there was this, big, rather impressive looking, like wooden church temple thing, kind of like a stave church, from Scandinavia, but with more wolf motifs, and also dragon motifs.
Dragon.
And so, so we'll pick up there as you enter into this kind of dark, dimly lit interior of this church, and there is indeed some kind of service that's just wrapping up. So what you see is a sort of long central aisle lined by support columns. And down towards the end of the aisle is a larger ceremonial space, I guess you could say. There are braziers with coals in them, providing heat and light. And you can see that beyond that kind of open ceremonial space, there's sort of an altar area that's been set up with so it's like a wooden carving, that's been erected, that's painted. So it's like a large painted dimensional carving. And it has featured on it 4 dragons. Okay.
Okay.
And the dragons are kind of like entwined and encircling what looks like a gate.
Okay. They're doing what with the gate?
They're entwined and circling this gate.
Okay.
And let's see, you don't have a like religion lore or anything.
Excuse me. No, just demons.
Just demons. All right. So yeah, this is unfamiliar iconography to you. Do you have literacy?
No.
No, you don't. Okay.
I have language though.
Sure. So, so above the gate, or the gate itself, like the kind of the cross beam lintel piece does have something carved into it, some writing, but
Yeah.
you don't
I don't know
what
what it says.
Yeah. All right. So then in front of this altar is an assemblage of Wolfen in various, kind of ceremonial robes.
Yeah.
The colors on the dragons, and then the colors on the robes are consistent, So
Okay.
there's a blue, white, red, and black dragon.
Okay.
Okay. And so these robes are kind of in those four colors,
Okay.
in various combinations and so forth, The person who seems to be kind of leading the ritual is dressed in black robes.
Okay.
Okay, and as the ceremony wraps up, they turn and they look at you, and you recognize them from your long buried memories.
Mm-hmm.
It is none other than your mother.
How do I know that's my mom?
It just comes back to you as soon as you see her.
She's in the ceremonial robes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's black.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So what does her fur look like?
Very similar to yours. It's
Which is?
mostly black with brown, highlights, I guess, or patches. And much like yours is coming out white now that winter's coming in. So there's
Yeah.
little speckles of white throughout.
Okay. So I see her. She sees me. Does she recognize me?
She does not appear to.
What? Why do I recognize her?
Because, she looks much the same as she did. You do not. You were a little pup.
What did I
Last
look
time.
like? What color was I? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I get more black fur? Did I?
Probably you were all black. And then you developed some little gold patches as you got older.
What was my dad's fur like?
Much the same. I mean, that's the thing about the Wolfen tribes is that's one of their identifiers is fur color and patterns. So the Oak people tend to be black fur with just elements of brown or
Like Rottweilers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay. They have little orange peanut butter eyebrows.
exactly. Peanut butter eyebrows.
So it's like little peanut butter smush above each eye.
That's true.
So she sees me and I see her and I'm like, oh, like that's my mom.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm paralyzed.
All right.
I feel like I'm really weird.
So she turns and she looks at you and perhaps there's a flash of recognition because there's this moment where she's kind of squinting her eyes a little bit, like she's trying to place who you could be, and so she takes a few steps in your direction and she says, "Welcome, travelers." And you'll just have to picture that this is Gillian Anderson from the American dub of Princess Mononoke. I can't actually do her voice, but yeah.
Lower like that.
It's lower like this. So, she says, "Welcome, travelers, to the Church of Dragonrite.
Dragonrite? Church of Dragon? What the fuck?
All are welcome."
Okay. Dragon with a W or?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Dragon, right.
Uh-huh.
So it's me, right?
It's me.
And stop. I'm trying to picture who is with me in my party.
It's
so
you. It's
is it just me?
You and Left Side Wound.
And Left Side Wound. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's we compared to.
Oh yeah.
So tiny.
Yeah.
So so she says this, and what are there other wolf in there like congregation?
Yeah, there's like a half dozen other like priests probably. This just seemed to be some kind of some kind of daily ritual ceremony that they do. Nothing major.
Yeah,
it's not like a holy day or anything.
Right. Okay. Is there like incense? Are there candles? Is there altars? Like what is in this place?
So like I said, there's the big altar, the sort of carved altar. And then that's about it as far as like decoration. But yeah, there's the braziers and then there are candles about.
Does it smell like anything in particular?
I don't know. You know more about incense than I do. What type of incense would communicate dragons to you?
Well, now I'm thinking about like dragon blood, amber, like it's a type of amber.
Oh, okay.
Dragon blood. If you look it up really quick, you'll.
Right.
It has a nice smell. It smells good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's resin. I'm not amber. It's resinous. I think that's why I said amber because I was thinking about.
Dragon blood resin. Okay. I'm like, why are you bringing up amber?
Sorry.
Dragon's blood.
It's my intelligence of 5.
That's right. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. Dragon's blood resin. Got it. Interesting. All right. Well, that's what they're burning then.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm looking around and I say, thank you for your welcome. We've been traveling for some days to get here.
So she says, well, we are happy to accommodate you in our dormitory. I'll have my acolyte here guide you. And as she's like sort of, welcoming you in, she looks at you again. She says, tell me, have we met before?
So what do I do? Like, is it just like a sense or is it like, do I feel...
You had like an immediate like flashback moment as soon as you saw her. Like it was this like full body flashback to seeing her face like long time ago.
But in what context? Was I being taken away? Was I feeding? Was I...
What do you think?
Oh, shit. I got to play my character. That whole thing.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Maybe I was seeing her face. I'm trying to think. Did she look upset or is it like a normal face?
Ooh, let's see.
Because I'm trying to think of the context. Like, is it peaceful or was it angry or sad or howling or like what?
I think, okay, how about this? The reason why you had this like major flashback is because it was a multi-sense memory. It wasn't just her face. It was the smell of the dragon's blood.
Oh,
resin
in the church?
Burning. It was the lighting.
Does the church seem familiar to me?
It seems vaguely familiar, yeah. Like, you're like, okay, I remember being here. And so I'm going to say that, yeah.
Was it
like
the daycare part of the church or like what?
Just hanging out. Just hanging.
I was in this little cordoned off area with all the what is it? The glass that you can't hear, soundproof glass.
Right.
Where they stick all the people with the kids. If you've been in a Catholic church, you see.
Oh, really? They have that?
Yeah, they have a place where
funny.
people can go into there and they can have their kids in there to kind of scream and go wild, and then
really
you don't really hear it when you're in the.
Oh, how funny!
That's in Southern California.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of that here in New Mexico.
Yeah. Well, I've only been in like historic churches here, so I don't know.
But there are historic churches that are still used for church services.
Oh, for sure. I just don't know if like more modern churches out
I'm
here
thinking
might have it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So I was in the church.
You were in the church, and yeah, like you see her face, you smell the resin, the lighting, everything, and then she's wearing the robes. So the whole thing, it's like, oh wow, like that's mom, and it's like, I was here once as a kid. The memory is like you're much shorter.
Yeah.
Looking up at her.
Right.
As she's like saying something.
Is she still taller than me though?
Ooh, that's a
because
good question.
I'm 16 years old. I don't know what the lifespan of a Wolfen is.
That's basically mature. Wolfen only lived about 50. Sorry to tell you.
What the fuck, man? I mean, why you gotta bring me down like that?
I didn't come here to get dragged. All right, so let's see how tall she is.
She's a petite Wolfen.
Let's see. She's 9 feet tall.
Okay, so I'm still looking up.
Yeah.
She's a foot taller than me.
Yeah.
All right, so
A powerful beast.
yeah, I know. So, okay, so I think I'm just remembering just kind of because I was pretty small when I got taken away.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfen's your native tongue, so you had enough time to learn that. But you might have been like 3.
Yeah. Running around.
Uh-huh.
Like
or even 2, I suppose.
I would
Wolfen,
say a 2-year-old Wolfen, yeah.
Yeah, a 2-year-old Wolfen might be the equivalent of like a 4-year-old human.
Mm-hmm. So I was probably just, are there other little Wolfen around?
Not in this moment, no.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out a context for why I would be there.
Oh, like before? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
To figure that out. It's just a very fuzzy memory.
So in terms of me being kidnapped, how was I kidnapped? Was I kidnapped like was it just something that they knew was going to happen, or was it a surprise attack?
We could leave that up as a mystery now that you're home. It could be something for you to figure out if you want to explore that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think if it's something that they knew, like something they knew was going to happen. And maybe I was in the church because they were trying to do some type of insight or either offering or something so that it wouldn't happen.
You might have been part of the ceremony.
Yeah.
I think.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I remember, but it didn't work, obviously.
Right.
Or maybe it did. I don't know.
Yeah, we can leave it vague for now because, yeah.
So yeah, I guess I just remember her doing like ceremony then.
Okay.
So and she says, "Have we met before?" Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm feeling cagey. Like I don't know if I want to show my hand right away.
Ooh.
Like I'm feeling. I don't know if I trust Wolfen. I don't know if I've like internalized distrust of Wolfen from all the bullshit that I was kind of served, being kidnapped and having to survive on my own. Like, do I trust other Wolfen? I felt the camaraderie with the group that came to the village. So I'll say, Grawl sent me here after he found me in a village south of here. Right, we went further north, correct? Yeah. So we were in this village and it was falling apart, and Grawl told me to come to this village to reconnect here. I've been living in the Western Empire for 14 years.
I see.
What is she thinking? Because I mean, she's lost children, I'm sure. Or she lost a kid.
Yeah.
But all of them, like, am I from like a litter? How many pups are in a Wolfen litter?
Well, see, remember what I was saying earlier about the big gaps in information that exist in the world of Palladium. So, I mean,
yeah, but you're a GM.
You're the game master,
so you get to figure. Because you're a garbage man. Who's going to clean up this mess?
Oh, my God. All right. So
you are, because you're a garbage man.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
So, anyway, I don't know if Wolfen have litters. I mean, this was a discussion we had way back when we made this character, was whether they have breasts like humans or teats like dogs. And I think we settled on breasts.
What?
So if they have...
No, we did not settle on breasts.
Oh, my God.
Why would we have done that? That makes zero sense.
Well, if they have teats, then I guess they have litters.
Why would they have boobs? like a mammalian.
Because that's like convention, you know.
No.
Humanoid figures always have boobs.
Because, I mean, they stand upright. Is that why we determined that they would have, like, breasts like a gorilla?
Yeah. Yeah, like a primate. I mean, they may not be like...
Awkward silence ensues. Yeah. Like, logistically, like, how can we reconcile this? Like, since it is upright, it wouldn't be vulnerable in certain areas?
Right. But and they might be more like chimp, breasts that aren't like, heavy, with milk all the time, right? Like they kind of deflate in between pregnancies.
You mean like humans?
No. Like chimps' breasts just aren't there unless they're actually having.
Humans are the only ones that have like constantly active boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
That look like they're full of milk when they're not.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Anthro 101.
That's right.
All right. I still really regret not getting into primatology.
Noted.
I love me a primate.
Primates are awesome.
We're cool. So I think, okay, so she has breasticles, like, but they're not like in the human sense.
Right.
All right, we got that.
So that means they don't have litters.
They don't have litters, so they have a one-off, one and done.
Maybe twins from time to time, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Uh-oh. Do I have a twin? Now there's all these questions coming up. You're like, I'm in way over my head. You're mopping your brow as we speak. Too many questions. Okay, so I look at her. She says, "Do I know you from somewhere?" She's like, "You look familiar."
You look familiar, yeah.
So I just kind of.
And then you're just like,
I kind of avoid the question by just saying I was sent here by Grawl, and he said that this is where I should basically connect with other Wolfen, because I've been in the Western Empire enslaved for 14 years.
Right. Okay. So
sorry to bore you with my dialogue.
Anyway,
moving on.
No, I'm trying to get to the point where we can actually get back to the combo here. So
we have a lot of questions.
We do. All right. So she says, yes, I noted your strange foreign accent. I am not familiar with this Grawl that you speak of. How far have you traveled?
So I look at Conqueron.
Left side wound. And
the Conqueron, yeah.
And
AKA
yes.
Left side wound is his name.
And and so he says, where did my map go? There it is.
Because I really don't know how far we traveled.
Yes. So he says, where was that colony?
Shit Town.
Yes, we have traveled far from Shit Town, USA.
USA.
Oh my god.
That's what it's called. Shit-town, USA.
Just makes no sense.
I love it.
Whatsoever.
We don't know what those initials are from, but it fits with Shit Town.
Yeah, it's just a tradition. It's a tradition, isn't it?
Tradition, isn't it? It's called any Shit Town, USA. I don't know what accent that was.
It was all over the place. Let me get an actual decent copy of the map here.
Oh my god. You need new glasses, maybe.
No, it's just the print quality on this.
Did you clean your glasses?
What I need to do is get this excellent map of the Northern Territories printed up as a proper poster map, which would be kind of cool.
Poster map?
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, he says we have traveled far from the coast of the Inland Sea, just east of the River Tabor. And, she makes an impressed face. And,
she's impressed with that?
She's impressed, yeah. She says, oh, that is very far indeed. You must be cold and hungry. Please, again, our home is yours.
How many acolytes are there?
6.
Okay.
So at this point, from amongst the shadowy cross beams above you, you hear the flapping and fluttering of feathers, and then with a loud caw, a raven drops down and begins to descend in a little circle, and then it lands upon your mother's shoulder.
I'm staring at this raven like, what the fuck?
You note that this raven is, decent size. And also has blue eyes.
Blue?
Mm-hmm.
And It's a decent size, meaning that
Like for a raven, you know, it's big.
It's big-ish.
Yeah.
It's bigger than probably what we've seen here.
Right.
In the real world. Is it bigger than...
Well, I don't want to... I mean, ravens can get pretty big even here.
Yeah,
so.
they're... Look up how big they can get, because I'm curious how big it is compared to her, because she's 9 foot tall.
She's 9 feet tall, to be fair.
And her head must be like...
Pumpkin size.
A third... Pumpkin size. No.
So they can be around 2.5 feet long.
Whoa, that's including their wing length.
No, that's the length. Beak to tail. Yeah,
beak to tail. That's 2 feet. That's fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
How many pounds?
Like 4 pounds.
How many kilos?
3 to 4 pounds. Kilos. 2.
Yeah.
2 kilos. 1.8. I don't know.
Okay, so this giant raven, basically.
Yeah.
Bigger than what I have personally seen. Not Maneater, but me.
Yeah.
This giant raven with blue eyes.
Blue eyes, yeah.
Lights on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it. Is it looking at me like with both eyes?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of giving you the old side eye there.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, so it just lights on her shoulder and is looking at you. And then there's like this moment that passes. And then suddenly your mother's eyes go wide. And she says, Grayfra, is that you?
To me?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So I say, I don't know what you're talking about.
And so she moves in a little closer and she's looking down at you.
She's sniffing me.
Yeah, actually.
She's sniffing me. All right.
And then
she's inhaling my musk.
She steps back and she says, "It is you by all the dragons, my long lost daughter."
So that affirms what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, This is so strange.
That's your reaction?
Yeah.
This is so strange.
Yeah, like I don't know what to say.
And so her eyes are kind of swimming a little bit, and she says, I've never been able to forgive myself for losing you, and here you are. Oh my darling, what have they done to you? And she's like moves in, she's like moving her hands over your face, feeling your biceps, looking at all the scars on your body.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
And then as the raven flaps off, she just pulls you into an embrace.
All right, so I accept it.
Okay.
And but I feel strange.
Yeah.
This is so weird. And like, how did she lose me?
Questions. All right, so then she turns to the acolytes and she says, my students, it is my daughter Grayfra. She has returned at last. And they all
He's calling me Grayfra?
Yeah. And so they all like they all do this kind of ritual move where like all of them are wearing this pendant with a wooden carving of a gate on it.
Uh-huh.
I'm picturing kind of like a Japanese style gate,
Yeah.
And they all put their right hands over that. And then they like put their left hands up towards the ceiling, and they say, praise be to the dragons.
What's with this dragon stuff I'm thinking? Like, have I ever seen a dragon?
No.
Just heard about them and seen them depicted in
they exist.
tattoos and art and different things, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'm watching them do that, and I'm just like hugged, and I'm like, oh, this feels weird.
So then she turns to Left Side Wound and she says, you will be richly rewarded for returning my daughter to me, and you are welcome to stay here as long as you wish.
He needs to leave. I say, I'm like, he wanted to get out of here.
I gotta go. And so she turns back to you and she says, but I hope you will stay.
I have nowhere else to go.
Excellent. And so then she, tend to my daughter and see to her every need.
Oh, no.
So two of the acolytes, move forward, bowing, and they're like, right this way, madam.
So I follow. I look back at left side wound. And I nod to him.
He just gives you one of those silent, palm out salutes. Yeah. as the camera pulls away.
Oh no! All right, so I follow them.
Okay, so I
do want to get warmed up, and I am hungry. So.
Yes, so they lead you kind of off to the side through a little portal that has some stairs that take you up. Just a short little stairway. It takes you up into a little private dormitory, basically, like a private residence. And there's a brazier in there, and also like a bed and
a bed. Is it big enough?
Oh yeah,
I would think
everything's Wolfen size.
That's so weird. I'm used to like sleeping on like piles of rags and straw,
basically. Well,
or the ground.
Remember, you had that little. That little cell that was like your home.
Yeah.
That you went to with Laszlo.
But it was things that I had collected over time, like from scraps of other people's bedding and straw that I'd collected that was like dry and clean and I kind of made my own little nest. And so now I have this like bed. It's weird.
Looks like a nice one too.
Does it?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Oh, it's just like a your 4-poster construction, but like with proper like interlaced cloth supports underneath and a mattress,
Weird. There's blankets.
Yeah. Comforters.
Huh. Is there windows?
Yeah, there's let's see, 4 narrow windows
for light.
And but they're shuttered at the moment because it's wintertime. So yeah, the light's pretty much just coming
from
off
the candles,
the candles and the brazier. It's a high ceiling room,
Is it like a wooden floor or like...
wooden floor? Yeah, everything's wooden,
Huh. So what do I do in here? Like, what do I? Is there like a little table or chest or something?
Yeah. So there's a little table. There's a kind of a, I guess, a wardrobe sort of situation.
Oh, okay.
Like it's living quarters.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, there's a little table and some chairs.
They're all Wolfen sized.
All Wolfen sized. Yeah.
Like that's what I'm not used to. I'm used to everything being small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the fact that everything fits is like disconcerting, but cool at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy.
Cool.
So I put my bags down and I'm still wearing like what I have of my clothes.
I know. your gladiator armor, which is like super gaudy,
yeah,
like pink and purple and yellow.
It looks so weird comparatively.
Right. So the acolytes are bustling around, and oh yes, put that there, and that's fine, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And then another figure enters the room. At first you think they might be a Wolfen, but then you notice this is another kind of like species, probably like the Kenkeran, because it's only about 6 feet tall, and it has a very sharp snout and kind of big floofy ruff with sharp ears,
like a cat,
like a coyote.
A coyote. So it looks Wolfen-like, but not really.
Right. It
looks more feral.
It looks to Wolfen what coyotes look to wolves.
Okay. Yeah.
Related, but clearly different.
Okay. So they come in.
So it comes in and it has this kind of like, the overall body language is very much just kind of like, very servile, and but it's bringing a tray in, and the tray is absolutely loaded with, cold roast beef and cheese, and I'm trying to think like
cheese. What are they making cheese out of?
Wintry.
Well, it would be
Wolfen have domesticated
It would
animals,
be preserved, like preserved fruits and like vegetables and pickles and probably that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Wolfen probably eats sauerkraut. So,
you think so?
Yeah, so it's got some like dried apricots and some like, pickled vegetables.
Cherries.
And dried cherries. And then, this like cold roast beef.
Okay.
And
they have cows, I think to myself.
Right.
Are there cows in the Western Empire?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You've had beef many times before.
Okay. So I thought it was like
usually
kangaroo or
usually
something.
before a fight. Yeah, kangaroo. It's true. I still have to kind of do my world building in terms of like, what is the Western Empire? Anyway,
Maybe it really doesn't exist.
no, maybe it was just an empire of your mind.
What?
All right. So anyway, and then it pours out into a very large goblet, some fine wine from a large pitcher, and the acolytes are like, please, have as much as you like. There's more if you're still hungry. We are preparing your bath as
Bath?
we speak.
I don't want a bath. No.
You're just gonna have that like sad dog expression on your face the whole time, licking your lips.
Please no. Why must you do this to me? All right, so I'm curious about left side wound, so I'll ask one of the acolytes, like, is he gonna get this treatment? Like, he deserves it.
If he wishes to stay, he is more than entitled. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I can't really do anything for him now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think to myself as I start munching on the roast beef. So I start eating and eating and eating.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everything's delicious.
Good.
I assume, right?
Oh yes, it's quite tasty.
Good.
Absolutely.
All right.
Um,
What are you checking off there in your GM?
I'm just jotting down
Log.
some experience points, as you know. This is
Oh, I
how
got
this
experience
works.
points for eating.
Just kind of cumulatively,
All right. So I have a bath.
Right. So you finish your meal, you pack it away, it's
Yeah.
delicious, and then as you push your plate away, one of the acolytes approaches and says, "Right this way, madam."
Okay. So I go.
So they lead you out of this room and actually out of the temple entirely, or the temple proper, and basically, the temple takes up, or it's part of a larger sort of complex, right? That's here in the center of town. And so they take you outside, back out into the cold, but very very soon you are led to another large wooden structure, and entering into it, it's like a sauna in here. It's
Oh my god.
it's
you are ridiculous.
yeah, it's a sauna basically. Yeah,
It's just heated rocks.
it's just heated rocks. Yeah,
Like a steam bath, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
I don't have to soak in anything.
no.
Weird. Do Wolfen sweat like a human? Like,
See, this is another question that we
Oh
have
my
to answer.
God.
So
I mean, I'm thinking like of dogs, like, and dogs overheat.
right, that's
Like,
true.
They
But I
wouldn't-
don't think you could be a bipedal 9-foot tall humanoid and not have sweat glands. I mean,
If they have mammary glands, they have sweat glands because
Yeah.
those are sweat glands.
Exactly,
So I
exactly.
mean, like, or similar to them.
yeah.
So
So,
I'm thinking they do sweat.
A Wolfen sauna would probably be like a hybrid of a classic sauna and a jacuzzi, because there probably would be an element with hot water soaking going on, because you have you got to soak the fur. You get the sweat on, but then you go and you do a dip.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean the classic sauna experience is that you
Yeah.
have a cold water bath right outside.
Right.
So you go and you sit in the steam bath for a
Right,
while,
and then you do a
jump
cold
into
dip.
the cold
Yes,
water. So
I'm
okay,
familiar.
we'll go with that. We'll go with the classic sauna experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sauna.
All right.
So you have this. You have, for the first time, you have the classic Wolfen sauna experience.
What are they beating me with, like, juniper branches and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
There's a Burger King in there. You can get a Whopper while you're
Oh, that sounds awesome.
sitting in the steam.
That sounds really disturbing. I guess. All right, so I get all that, and then I decide to go get like a little cold dip,
And then yeah, they the acolytes have to guide you through it. It's like, okay, now you go out that door, and there's going to be a pool, and you jump into it. Trust us, that whole thing.
So I do, yeah.
And of course, you change into a robe prior to entering the sauna proper.
Okay.
And so then you have to jump in the pool naked, naked but for your birthday suit. And It's quite refreshing, you know.
Cool.
So you get the whole experience.
Okay.
The whole package. Just picturing getting out of the cold water bath and just going shaking off all the water flying everywhere, you know.
All right. So that's
tip to tail.
That's very exactly. So I'm done with that. And then what happens?
So you are then taken back to the temple. Where you find back in your room, just some like Wolfen, like kind of local garb has
So
been.
they have like the fringy leather.
Yes, so they're really into this kind of like Jeremiah Johnson buckskin realness.
Why?
Kind of.
Why is this the style?
Well, you'll have to ask if you're curious.
I will ask.
You don't have answers.
So I'll say, why are these the clothes that I need to wear?
Why clothes?
Yeah, why are these the clothes?
Why are clothes?
So I will ask, like, where did this fashion come from?
Okay. Where did this fashion come from?
What?
So
how would you ask that question?
No, I mean that's legit. So so they you're asking the acolytes this?
Yeah.
Okay. So they say, well, these are the traditional garb of our tribe, the Oak people.
Well, how did it develop? Like, why this? And I'm like touching the fringe, like,
yeah.
What does this do? Because the only time I've seen this is when it's just like for, I think about Callus and his fringe. What?
It's true.
But I'm starting to wonder if he maybe stole some Wolfen clothes from the Oak people and like had them dyed or painted.
Ooh, that's
so I'm like starting to get like where. That's the only time I've ever seen fringe.
Let's see.
Is on Callus.
Okay, so from the doorway behind you, you hear your mother's voice, and she says, every Wolfen tribe has different traditional garb. This just happens to be ours. Do you not like it?
I've seen this before, but in a different format. So I'm wondering if someone stole this type of garb from someone else and adopted it as their own.
It needn't have been stolen, she says. And she comes over and she kind of, picks up like, the shirt, we'll say. And she's like kind of holding it so you can get into it while she's helping you.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so weird, like smothered.
my smother. Oh, mother.
But I'm not used to somebody like taking time with me.
Yeah. So she says, our people are far travelers and merchants, traders. Our skill with animal hides and leather work is renowned across the empire and beyond. It could very well be that you have seen some of our own craft and handiwork worn in the Western Empire. That is not out of the question.
So I think the question is heavy in the air of like, why was I there and like what happened to me? Are the other acolytes like leaving the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like bowing their way out.
Their hands behind
hands extended behind them.
Yes. All right. So so it's like awkward. Is she like just staring at me? Oh.
Sorry about that.
I wouldn't have known.
Well, so she helps you finish getting dressed. And then,
so what is it, like a top? Like, am I wearing like a skirt thing or pants or?
Well, it says here, clothing is either tribal with beaded vests and fringed jackets, or the loose-fitting practical leathers of wilderness scouts.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's kind of tribal, right? Clothing is tribal with beaded vests and fringed jackets.
Mean?
So it's probably like kind of buckskin shirts and jackets with like what do they call those? Like the buckskin, leggings, right? And then like maybe a loincloth, so.
And like everybody wears the same thing.
Yeah, if they're not wearing ceremonial robes. Yeah. But yeah, you like walking into the city, you saw like the Wolfen citizens of the city were all mostly dressed like that.
Okay. So, yeah. I don't have shoes or anything, do I?
No, you got big old wolf paws.
All right, so I sit on the bed, I guess, and like now what? You know?
Okay,
so she's looking at her expectantly.
Yeah, she takes one of the chairs next to the table and turns it and sits on it. And she says, "So I expect you have many questions."
I nod.
Where would you like to start?
I don't know. What do you want to know about me? How do you know that I'm your child?
I know many things. I am a high priestess of the Church of Dragonrite.
What's your name?
I am called Sif Blackeye.
Okay.
I am of the Quercus bloodline, as are you.
Quercus?
We are the traditional priesthood of the Oak people. Dragonrite is our faith, and I can tell you more about that in the days to come.
I've seen how religion is wielded.
We are a church that welcomes any, Wolfen and non-Wolfen alike.
I just see... Oh, so then I'm thinking about that other creature that I saw that was like pointy snouted and... So I ask about that, like including like that type of a creature. Like what was that?
That is another of our kind known as coils.
How do you spell that?
Coyle.
Coils? What do they do?
She gives a wry smile and she says, well, many of them do very little, or what they do is no good.
What do you mean?
The coil are a problem for the Wolfen. They tend towards laziness or shiftless behavior when they are in cities, but when they are out in the wilderness, they band together into large bandit gangs and raid commerce and traders.
So I'm thinking, like, in my head, like, this is how humans talk about Wolfen. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, instantly suspicious of this. But there's also this yearning to know more about her, like...
And I'll just, pause here to take us out of the story for a moment and get back to what I was saying at the beginning of the session. This is the part of the Palladium setting I do like quite a bit, and I think actually has been developed very, very well, which is this
All right,
idea
so like
that
an hour and a half in, and so now you're giving Palladium some props.
I am. If you're still listening, Mr. Simbita, no, but seriously, like, I mean, there's a lot of nuance in the setting where it's like, yeah, there's no like good guy nation, there's no bad guy nation.
Right.
Like every group has like prejudices, every group has biases. Yeah, like so I think that's very cool.
Yeah, that's very normal.
Yeah, it is. It's very believable. Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, you're thinking like, hey, wait a minute, I've heard this line before.
Yeah, I have.
So she says our mission here is to bring in anyone who wishes to come, and she kind of like indicates her pendant with the gate on it, and she says this gate represents the gate that any may pass through in order to join our ranks, and that includes any coil who wish to come here, such as Stredler. I really need to come up with a list of names. No, Snredler.
What?
Snredler.
Snredler?
Yes.
No. Oh my god.
Yes, that's right. I'm like, what would a coyote be named?
Snredler?
Snredler.
Oh my god.
Where are our fans? Our fans have disappeared.
What fans? Oh, I know. We do need our fans back.
Where
are they?
Here we go. Here's one. Here's the industrial strength.
Oh, the industrial strength one.
There we go. All right.
Better?
Better. Okay. There we go.
The Hello Uglies Dragula fan. Oh, from the Boulet Brothers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Whoa, there you go.
All right.
Pop that fan.
Snredler.
All right, Snredler.
How dare you? So I guess I look at like I cock my ears like Snredler.
My name is Mr. Snrub. Yes, that should do.
And then now I'm curious, like, is that their real name?
Oh yeah, right.
Because
oh my god. Oh no.
Is that their real name? Because I know that the Wolfen that I would see in the Western Empire, like, they got all types of fucked up names.
Well, yeah, most of them are.
Mine is Maneater. Like,
that's your gladiator name, but yeah, like technically you're like R24 or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like none of the Wolfen have actual names.
So I'm very sensitive to names and like what they mean and.
Yeah. In fact, you probably have a brand on you somewhere that says R24.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Escape into the fantasy of Palladium.
Snredler, and you got branded.
And you got branded with your fucking numeral name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So she's looking at me. So she's talking about Snredler.
Yes.
Are you gonna tell Alex about this?
Of course I am. Okay, I have my report. Because I was like, oh, I'll let you know how the new house rules go. And then it's like, how'd they turn out? Well, the Snredler was our main takeaway.
All right. So
yes,
I'm looking at her and I'm hearing all this and I'm just thinking like it never fails. Like no matter what, like these like all of these beings are the same. They have their categories, they have hierarchies. They justify things in various ways.
Yeah.
In terms of how they treat each other based on appearances. And it's kind of the same.
Yep.
Hey, you didn't make me roll recognize scent.
Oh, yeah, actually
have.
Hey, why don't we test out those house rules right now? So, recognize scent.
Can I have your bishop blessed dice, please?
Oh, yes, here you are.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Okay.
That should not have should not
my weak elbow. My bad elbow.
Oh, your bad
We
elbow.
both have bad elbows.
We do. Okay. Mine's because I bashed it on a stair like almost a year ago.
It's still giving me problems.
Well, I mean, it's sensitive. It's definitely not as bad as it was. I think it was fractured. We've talked about this. Everybody knows about my fractured elbow. Okay. Those of you who are still with us. Okay. Yes. Oh, I do have a D10.
Hey, look at that.
I'm not using your poopy one.
Oh, what the hell?
Back it goes into the depths of despair.
Could have done some great things for you, but you didn't even give it a shot.
Should I try it?
I don't know.
Why are you making me feel guilty?
Oh my god. Look at that dice sitting right there looking all sad. Like, oh, why wouldn't you use me?
Was this the one?
No. It was blue.
Oh. No, this was it?
Nope.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. This is the one.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, that was it.
I'll try it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right, so what is your recognized scent?
24%.
All
Or
right.
34% for mate or family. I'm going to get a mate?
Hey, you might. The monster demands a mate. All right, so 34.
We're not talking about our courtship. I'm talking about the Wolfen situation.
Who's the monster? All right, so.
We're still trying to answer that question to this day. Okay. So
all right, so
34%, yeah.
Now, what attribute would we add to recognizing scent?
I would say that would be mental endurance because that's memories, correct?
It's your emotional. It's kind of your emotional side.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't we?
When you imprint like that emotional, because none of the physical stuff. Seems...
No. Okay, let's do that.
Wait,
so,
what's affinity again? Is that magic?
It's your personality,
But the mental endurance is like, to me, memories and resilience.
Yeah, it's definitely resilience. Let's see here.
It's not memories, is what you're saying. You can tell me no, you know.
You can sing Memory from Cats if you want, and
No.
I'll give you some XP.
Really, would you?
Maybe. Mental.
Daylight, not a sound from the pavement.
Wow. Okay. I'll give you some XP for that.
That's all I remember.
Oh, okay. Not a sound from the pavement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't that make sense lyrically?
I guess so. I don't know. What's the song about?
Memory.
It's about remembering things.
You know, the pavement would make sounds throughout the day, and then I don't know.
Okay.
Don't ask me to interpret the song. I don't have the bandwidth.
All right. Mental affinity shows the character's personal charm and charisma, natural leaders.
Okay. That's nothing. That gives us nothing.
Mental endurance measures the amount of mental and emotional stress the character can withstand. Okay. And then intelligence quotient indicates the intelligence of the character. Thank you for that.
Good job, everyone who worked on that page. All right, so it is mental endurance.
We'll go with mental endurance. That's fine.
All right, so it's 22 plus 34.
So 56.
Yeah.
All right.
56 plus.
Well, let me give you your target number first. You should know what you're aiming for, right? So that you can visualize it in your brain.
I want to. Yeah, that's exactly how my process works.
All right. Since it's been 14 years since you've been around your mother, I'm going to say this is hard difficulty. So your target number is 150.
150?
Yep.
That's really difficult.
Yes, it is. Let's see what you can roll.
That was sad.
What did you roll?
17.
17. Ooh, ouch. Okay. Yeah, so you don't recognize her scent, which is sad, indeed.
How do I know that she's really my mom?
That's the question. What was going on with that raven? The raven with the blue eyes.
What was that?
You know.
All right, don't worry, everybody. Everything's fine. It was a surprising sound, almost as surprising as my horrible rendition of Memory.
What?
So,
yeah, I'll cut that out. That was pretty bad.
I don't even know the lyrics. I think I thought I remembered the lyrics, but maybe I didn't.
But
I didn't
you
remember
didn't.
them.
All
right. So there's a raven with blue eyes. So I don't recognize her scent.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
Yeah.
And it just fills me with a lot of bad feelings. And I'm starting to feel very moody and angry. And hearing this talk. So I'll say you talk like all the other creatures I've encountered in this world. There's hierarchies. You're treating people a certain way because of how they look. And I'm a bit sensitive to that.
So she hears you out and gives a, equanimous nod, And she says, I cannot even imagine what you have been through.
No, you can't.
But you're home now.
I don't know what home is. And I would never presume that this would be my home and that you would support me. I obviously have to contribute in some way. I don't know how I could. Do you have fighters in this village?
The Church of Dragonrite is a warrior priest faith.
Okay.
Like dragons, we know how to fight.
Why are there dragons? I've never seen a dragon. How do you know that they exist? Why do you believe in dragons?
I have seen dragons.
Where?
I can tell you. Where, you ask?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can give you one example. Your traveling companion, Left Side Wound, is an acolyte of Dragonrite himself. His name comes from a place, a sacred location west of here in the northern hinterlands that itself is called Left Side Wound. The name commemorates a massacre of priests of Dragonrite and is the location of a shrine consecrated to one of the 4 dragons of our church.
4 dragons?
Yes. You saw them on the altar.
So I think back and I remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. These 4 dragons fought against the old ones, who were agents of chaos, terrible god monsters, inimical to all life in our world. And these 4 dragons imprisoned them.
Where?
Various places, deep below the earth, never to trouble us again.
So I'm thinking back on that like portal that we encountered, Laszlo and I, and like where that went and what that was about, and makes me wonder like what other little magical portals were these dragons put into, and like how easily are they cracked open again? You know.
Indeed. Here's the thing, little sidebar.
Okay.
Again, editorial oversight.
Okay,
so
here we go.
I'm reading up on Cankeran before I ran that last session.
Yeah.
In the Monsters and Animals book.
5 months ago.
Yeah. And it says typical names. It actually gives some names for Cankeran, amazingly. And it said typical names include blah blah yada yada. And Left Side Wound was one of them. And I was like, that's a cool name. I'll just take that. You know, that's a good name for an NPC. Perfect. Then I'm reading up on the Church of Dragonrite in the Dragons and Gods book before this session. And it's talking about how Dragonrite, the church is very ancient. And so there's all these places all over the Palladium world that, you know, are like former temples or, you know, holy sites or whatever. And it's like, here are some examples. And one of them is this like place called Left Side Wound. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I haven't thought on this. I haven't thought about this.
Okay, what's your thought? I have my theory too, but I want to hear yours.
Oh, I want to hear yours first.
Well, my theory is that Left Side Wound is something that got written down in a commonplace book. Like, oh, that sounds cool. I should use that. And then was used in Monsters and Animals as a example name, but then forgotten about, and then later used as a place name in Dragons and Gods, and nobody caught it. What's your thought?
What my theory presupposes is nobody forgot anything. Ooh. And this is part of this collective unconscious, which is this game. Oh. So this game is actually a reflection of the collective unconscious of the whoever's designing, whoever is part of this world.
The author, if you will.
Yes. I mean, the creators, designers, editors, etc. It becomes this like amorphous, right?
Yeah,
blob of knowledge that they pick ideas out of in this world. And that's why it's so like, oh, this is similar. Oh, we're missing this piece. They're missing that piece, whatever. Yeah. But it's like, here's where there are these weird echoes that are happening. So that's my theory.
That's a much better attitude to take because it's less frustrating.
Exactly. Because I've heard you complain about this for many months. And so now I'm like...
What? I'm not complaining. I'm just making observations.
You're venting a little bit.
Just making observations.
Venting. Roasting and venting. Roasting. Vent and roast.
Roasters.
Roasting it. Yeah. Broiling and roasting at the same time. So let's keep going.
Okay.
Why are you looking at your dice?
Anyway, it was just interesting to me. I was like, wow, okay, interesting. And you know what? I honestly did have a similar attitude where I'm like, okay, it was meant to be. It's some very strange synchronicity happening here. So we're just going to roll with it.
Cool.
So, and therefore, the person Left Side Wound, obviously, is named in honor of the site.
Okay.
Perhaps he was born there.
Maybe.
Yes.
Although you said he was wounded. He had a gnarly scar on his left side.
He did actually legitimately have a left side wound. Maybe it was a prophecy.
Think about it, won't you? Thank you.
Anyway. So she tells you about this place. And so she says, I have visited that shrine, and it is there that I received a vision of the dragon I have devoted myself to, which is Styphon the Black.
What are the other dragons?
Well, it's funny you should ask about that, and I can tell you about it in a moment. But first,
a message from Squarespace.
A message from Squatty Potty. But yeah, so she says, "I'm curious, daughter, if you have ever had any visions of dragons yourself."
Have I?
It's up to you.
Let's roll it.
All right, what do you want to roll? Ooh, you know what? I was just actually glimpsing
Demon
I
lore?
was looking at this thing here.
Demon and monsters lore.
Here, just roll this and read the result you get on the die.
Is this one of those sex dice?
Yes, it's 69.
No, it says like boobs, penis.
Boobs, all right.
Butt.
Teats.
Teats. Highly unlikely.
There you go.
Boo! I wanted to roll my lore, demons and monsters.
Oh, you could also do that.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Come on, man.
You don't like the divination dice?
I like the divination dice, but I don't know how it's weighted.
Okay.
So,
all right.
let's see here. We'll see if the divination dice comes through with this dice roll.
Okay.
So I have 35.
All right. Add your mental affinity to that.
22. So that's going to be
Your mental affinity?
Oh, sorry. 10. So 45.
45.
45 plus.
All right. We'll just make this normal, so it'll be 100.
Okay. 45 plus 58.
Okay, so you got it.
Yeah.
Barely. And so
Right.
Cool. So that means that
That's
you have
lore, though.
Well, so you've heard, so you know a bit about dragons. You know that they come in different species. You know, there's different types of dragons. There's woolly dragons and frosty dragons and lightning dragons and all kinds of different.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Wow.
they're sort of weirdly elemental in their
Okay.
typology. But yeah, what do you think? Have you had visions of them, or have you just heard of them?
I've just heard of them.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything. I mean, here's the thing. Wolfen, like, Maneater, like, they've been living in this very highly stressful place.
Yes.
In servitude, enslaved,
Yes.
downtrodden, and not had the chance to think about any of these things. And so the capacity for the Wolfen mind to, like, feel expansive enough to think about these things and receive visions or messages would be, I think, very difficult. So, therefore, I think she's heard of these things, but hasn't experienced them herself because she just hasn't had the capacity or ability to do that because she's just been trying to survive. So, I will say, I know of dragons. I mean, I've heard people talk of them and I've seen depictions of dragons, but I've never had any messages or visions. I have been mostly focusing on surviving.
All right. So she looks vaguely disappointed for a moment, but then she says, of course, completely understandable. Well, perhaps you will have a vision here.
Maybe.
If you do, I want you to tell me about it.
Why?
It's important for me to know.
Why do you have to know my visions?
Well, first of all, in my capacity as High Priestess. Secondly, it may affect your future. I can interpret the visions for you.
All right.
Oftentimes, visions will come that hold portents of what is not yet past. Come, let me take you out to the main part of the temple, and I will tell you more.
Okay.
So she leads you out, and you're looking at this, big carved altar, and she begins to, point out, all the different dragons depicted on it, right? And so she takes you through that. And let's see. Let me just get to the right page here.
It's all snowy outside, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
It's just the village is like blanketed in snow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because there was a big storm coming when we were arriving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got in just before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now it's snowing pretty heavily, you know. So there are four dragons. Kim Nark Mar,
What?
Kormoth, Zandragal, and Styphon. And so she just kind of takes you through that and tells you that you can worship the whole pantheon, or you can devote yourself to a particular dragon. Many people choose, a particular dragon to follow.
That's what you did, I say.
Indeed.
Why? What is it about Styphon that is so important to you?
Styphon, when he came to me, offered me knowledge that I found most useful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time, frankly, of personal crisis in my faith. I'm just going to tell you right now that on the other side of this lake, Dream Lake, we call it, there is a monastery. It is a monastery of blasphemers. They claim to be followers of Dragonrite, and yet they do not follow the proper rituals and beliefs.
Why did they separate from you?
They have been led down a false path, frankly. And at the time, I was questioning the rituals and beliefs that we hold here. I have not told many about this, but as my daughter, I feel I can tell you. And when Styphon appeared to me, he confirmed my beliefs and told me that I was on the correct path. And so it only doubled my faith to have that.
What do the blasphemers have to
experience.
do with that? Were you part of that group?
We were closer in contact with them at the time. Things have, frankly, worsened since then, and I fear that at some point in the near future, conflict may have to come to a head.
Are they warriors as well?
They are indeed.
Has this caused problems in the town?
It has. There have been brawls, fights, both here in the city and outside the city walls. We have tried the peaceable approach with them, and it has not worked.
I see. All right. Well, I guess I'll let you know if I get visited by any dragons. I'm not expecting it, though.
No one ever expects it.
So what's this over here? So I'm like looking at different pieces.
Yeah.
Like different.
Yeah, and she's just kind
engravings.
of taking you through it, and answering questions and that kind of thing.
So as I'm around her more, can I sniff her more?
Well, by this point, you've sort of like gotten her scent. So,
Do you think it would jog any more memories?
Why don't you make another roll?
All right. So 34 plus 22.
56. Just, I'd say we'll lower the target number now that you've been around her. So just got to roll a 44 or better.
67.
There you go.
All right. So now I'm like, this is more familiar.
Yeah, it's starting to settle in.
That's uncomfortable, though, for me. Because I'm like, why did you abandon me? Why didn't you go looking for me?
That's the question that's brewing at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. right. So why don't we do a little bit of a time jump at this point?
Okay.
Not too much, but just, maybe a couple weeks go by, right?
Okay.
You're settling in. You're wrestling with this internal conflict. I'm assuming you're not just going to blurt it out.
Well, it is Maneater. I mean, really.
That's true, actually. All right. If you don't want to do the time jump.
No, we can.
Okay.
We can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think she's biding her time. I mean, it's like it's winter. It's still very snowy.
Right.
Things are more dormant.
Right.
You know, and I'm kind of like feeling comfortable for the first time in like ever.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to adjust to this life.
You're settling into that.
And there's a little tiny part of me that's like, where's Callus? Like, I wonder what they did to him. Like,
oh man.
Are they torturing him? Like,
yeah.
But I think about all the times I was like tortured and abused, and I don't feel like any pangs of guilt or anything. But So some weeks have gone by.
Okay, yeah, a couple weeks go by. And
no, why are you so calm? I don't like this. Oh my god. Don't start.
all right. And
Oh no.
Okay. So you've settled in your little dorm there, little dormitory.
Yeah.
Winter is fully upon the land, so it's like piling up in huge drifts against the sides of buildings, and even for these 8 to 10 foot tall wolfen, it's you got to like people out clearing paths, to get through and stuff. And, but you've enjoyed your share of saunas and whatnot since then, no doubt.
I think I've been helping clear paths and stuff.
Okay, so you are like kind of making yourself useful.
I'm contributing, yeah.
Okay.
I'd kind of go crazy if I wasn't.
All right. And like, picturing like your old gladiator armor's all packed away, so you're just fully in the buckskins at this point,
Yeah, shoveling snow.
And so one evening, though, as you lie in the embrace of slumber, you begin to have a dream.
Oh.
And it is a dream in which you are back in your cell in Arena Town. And it is, it's not winter there. It's hot and noisy and dusty, bright, And so you wake up and you move out from your cell and you see the training grounds, and the Wolfen and the orcs and the ogres and the humans who are members of this gladiator school are out there doing their exercises as Callus walks up and down the lines, correcting grips and, telling, stances and, working one-on-one with some, so forth. But then, you don't go and join them. You just move kind of like you're on little casters, you move,
right.
You move out of there and then you kind of emerge from the school, and then suddenly you're no longer even in Arena Town. You're in some other big city in the Western Empire that you've never actually seen before. It's one of those weird dreams where he's like, kind of familiar, but then weirdly different, you know? So you're in this like big city and there's like huge, like monumental buildings, domes and columns and, colonnades and all that kind of stuff, gold and marble and very, very fancy. And you're moving across this big plaza where all these humans are going about their business, but you just move past them and you go up this very broad stairway into what looks like this palace. You pass through the big gilded front doors and you're going down this marbled hall, and down at the end of the hall there's a set of like big mahogany double doors, and those part way for you, and you move through into the next room. And in the next room you see like this great big banquet table has been set up, and it's piled up with like gold coins and gold bars and gold statues, and it's just more gold than you've ever seen in one place in your life. And sitting on the other side of it is none other than your old pal, Emperor Itomas.
Oh.
In all of his albinic glory.
Okay.
You know, and he's sitting there and he's just shoveling the gold into his mouth and he's eating it. He's just chewing on it, gulping it down. He's eating the gold bars like Hershey bars, you know.
Okay.
Just taking big chunks out of it, popping the coins in his mouth, chewing them up like Skittles, you know. Like it's, you know, he's just chewing away on it. And at that point you wake up.
The hell? So when I wake up, it's like I don't know where I am.
Right.
I'm completely confused.
Yeah, for a second you think maybe you're back in your cell.
That's right.
In Arena Town.
Yeah.
But then you feel the sort of cold air, you know.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. So I have to kind of get back into that mindset of like being here and not there.
Right.
And wondering what the hell did that dream mean? So I think I could go to Sif. And I should tell her about this.
Okay.
Dream.
So her residency is like right across, like it's kind of a, you know, typical symmetrical temple layout, right? So there's like your dorms on this side, hers is on the opposite side across the main area. So
yeah, I'll head over there.
Okay. All right. So it's sometime in the wee hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's just eerily quiet. You know, all the candles are out. There's just a few braziers still burning out in the main area. So you pad across, you know, to the other side and give a little light knock. Okay. And there's no answer.
I'll just come back later.
Okay. So you start crossing back over to your chamber when you hear somewhere in the dark depths of the temple a loud metallic clanging.
So I'll head to the sound.
Okay. All right. So you press onwards into the interior of the temple, past the big altar, and looking around. Yeah, why don't we get another scent smell? Isn't there something like a blood?
Yeah, track blood scent. 28%.
Okay, give me that.
With mental, endurance or mental what? IQ.
We'll go with mental affinity on this one.
Oh, boo. Okay, so it's 38. I'll get faster at this, but
That's fine. Yeah, target number 100.
So 62 or better.
Okay.
No, what's a 16?
16. All right. So you think you might smell some blood in the air, but you're not sure where it's coming from. So you're just kind of looking around, you know.
So I want to go toward the sound.
This is where the sound came from.
Okay,
You're
I'm going to
not-
just keep looking around.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. I think you have a detect concealment skill, right?
I'm looking at all my things. Detect concealment?
That would be under skills.
No, I
Take a
don't.
look here.
I have climb, scale walls, dance, disguise, imitate voices, recognize weapon quality, streetwise, language, first aid, track, trap animals, land navigation, lore, boxing, athletics, tumbling, wrestling, prowl, musical instruments, track humanoids, use, recognize poison, running, field, armor, pole vault, and stilt lock.
Okay. That's a fine. So in this case, then, you don't have any dedicated skill for finding hidden things. So just give me a D100 roll, please.
This is what I needed. 69.
All right. Good. So, yeah, I'll say that this is a fairly easy task because this isn't like super concealed. But basically, as you're looking around, you see kind of over in a particularly darkened corner off the main area. There's a metal grate in the floor.
I'll go to it.
So standing over it, that blood smell, definitely much more pronounced, kind of wafting up from the grate. And you have night vision, so you can see that under the grate, there's a wooden stairway that descends into the
All
into
right,
the earth.
I'll pull up the grate if I can.
Yeah, you're strong, so up it goes with a bit of a creak.
And can I go on? Is it the big enough space that I can?
It's Wolfen sized.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is weird because why is there a grate? Shouldn't there just be a trap door over this?
Well, air circulation, maybe.
All right, so I head down the stairs.
All right, so you lower the grate back down as you go down the stairs, and you don't descend very far. It's like a basement stairway kind of situation, and then you find yourself standing on a just packed earth floor with stone walls and a wooden ceiling overhead, and it's extremely dim down here, right? There's but you do have night vision.
Yeah.
So there's like maybe a candle is lit somewhere down the hall. It's just enough ambient light to let you sort of follow your way along the wall. And you can see that there are cell doors. So it is like kind of a weird prison or dungeon kind of situation.
So I'm looking into one of the cells.
Okay. So you look in and you see a couple sleeping forms that you recognize as either human or orc.
What? This is upsetting to me. So I'm looking at the doors. Like, how are they secured?
Pretty securely. They have iron bands and locks.
I'm looking around for keys.
Okay. So you can carry on down the hall a bit. So no sign of any keys. As you're looking about, you reach the end of the corridor, and there is indeed like a small little table with a candle burning on it. So someone was here. But
So I'm looking around the place. What else is there?
it's just, there's like a half dozen cell doors. That's about it.
It doesn't look like there's like there's a table, but like, there's a chair, a candle. There's no weapons on the walls or anything. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So are there any other entrances or exits? It's just one way in and out? So I'm going to go and look in another one of the cells.
Okay. So this one you look in, and at first you think it's totally empty. But then there's a slight bit of movement. And as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can see that there's on the little bare wooden cot, against the wall, there is somebody who's just kind of sitting up. It takes you a moment to even kind of resolve them in your vision, because they're so just like a part of the darkness in there. And this is due to the fact that as you're looking, you can see that it seems to be an elf, but their skin is like charcoal black. It's like onyx. Their hair is black. Seemingly even their eyes are black. And so they seem to be awake. And they say, well, it's about time you came down here.
Who are you?
I'm Stavros.
Stavros?
That's all you need to know for now.
No, there's a little bit more I need to know.
You're right about that. Has your mother talked to you about what the Church of Dragonrite asks of its followers?
No. I would like to learn.
So he stands up and walks over.
How did you know it was my mother?
I know a lot of things.
Why?
Are you magical?
You might say that. Now.
Oh, no.
Your mother's very interested in whether you've had visions of dragons.
How do you know that?
Voices carry.
Uh-huh.
It gets awfully echoey down here.
Who are you? And like, what? I mean, who are these people that are here?
Well, these are, you might say, the chorale of ritual victims waiting the next big holy day.
All right. What do you want? What do you want to tell me?
You're a danger girl.
That's what he says?
More or less. He says, I wanted to give you a warning, a fair warning. Your mother is very interested in finding out whether you've had any visions of dragons, because if you have, well then, she will happily induct you into the church as an acolyte and future priestess. But if you haven't, she will more than happily make you the starring sacrifice at the Spring Equinox Festival. That is, if you don't do something about it first.
What do I have to do?
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Not with my 5 intelligence.
Oh, suddenly that's a crutch, is it?
How did you get in here? How'd they capture you?
They captured me a long time ago.
Why haven't they killed you yet?
They know that would be a mistake.
Then why are you down here?
It's a nice place to hang out.
What? It doesn't seem very nice. I'm looking around. It doesn't look very nice. I've been in cells. I know what this is like.
It suits my tastes, for now.
Why should I believe you?
You shouldn't. You'll find out the truth soon enough.
I'm gritting my teeth. What if I just let you all free?
Well, I don't think your mother would like that very much at all.
How would she know it was me?
She may not. She might find it out. She's very clever, you know.
Yeah, but you're acting like you're smarter than her.
I am.
Then again, they're keeping you down here. Why don't you just escape?
They're not keeping me here. I can come and go anytime I like.
Then what the hell are you doing here today? To tell me this special message?
I told you, I like this environment.
What, a place where people are miserable and sad? You feed off of that energy?
I enjoy the dank.
So how many cells are there total?
6.
Including Stavros's?
Yeah.
This is upsetting to me. On multiple levels. Nowhere is safe. Oh, I hate this. All right, look. If you can come and go as you please, and when is the next time you're leaving? Where do you go to?
Oh, I go all over.
Did you know about that village that I was in? Where there was like this demon?
I heard about that.
Okay, so how do you know all this stuff about my life?
That raven of your mother's.
Yeah.
It's a messenger. It keeps her in communication with certain allies.
What, you?
No.
Are you that raven? Are you a shapeshifter?
I'm not. Good guess, though.
So the raven, what if we got rid of it?
Well, your mother wouldn't like that either.
But it would be one less tool she would have.
True, but its master might take some exception with you, and you've already met him once.
Who's that? The demon guy, the king demon dude in that village.
King shit of Demon Mountain.
Yeah. King shit of Demon Mountain, who's likes to frequent Shittown, USA. And feed off of the souls there.
We came all the way from Shittown, USA. Yes, you were wise not to speak his name.
I don't remember
It should not be spoken. Well, I think Maneater would. It should not be spoken at such a time of night in such an environment.
Why not?
I might summon him.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Don't say it.
You know about Beetlejuice?
Oh no, that's twice.
All right, look. I smelled blood down here. Was there bloodletting? What happened?
Well, I needed to attract you down here somehow, didn't I?
What did you do?
Don't worry about it.
What? I am worried about it. How do I know you're not gonna, you're not working for my mom and you're gonna turn against me? Why would you even help me?
I can work for multiple people at one time. Perhaps it's in my best interest to find out who the strongest is.
Well, I think you know that's me.
I think I do. And I think I know that you'll do the right thing when the time comes.
Lie and say that I've had dragon visions?
I'm not asking you to lie.
I'm not going to destroy a wolf in town.
I'm not asking you to do that either.
What are you asking me to do?
Do the right thing when the time comes. And with that, he steps back into the shadows, and this time, he truly does disappear.
I'm upset. I'm very upset. There's nowhere that's actually peaceful in this goddamn world.
So you may think at this moment.
And this is wrong. I know this is wrong. And I'm very sensitive to those things. And the fact that I would be instantly abandoned just because I didn't have dragon visions is really stupid. And she's already abandoned me anyway. So what allegiance do I have really to this person who says that they're my mother? So I'm just thinking those things as I leave the dungeon.
So as you are leaving the dungeon, walking past one of the cells, you put your feet in a puddle of warm blood.
I turn to it. I go to it.
It's spreading out from under the cell door.
What is it?
Smells like wolfen blood.
What? I look in the cell.
You can't. Well, let's see. Wolfen are big. You see, you see the feet and legs of a wolfen, kind of laying near the door.
So I try to open it.
It's unlocked, but it takes a bit of force because the body's lying up against the door.
Okay.
But you do force it open, and then you recognize one of the acolytes.
Oh my god. Is there a knife in there or a sword or something?
Their throat is torn out.
Oh. What's that demon guy? Oh, so Stavros, I've lured demon monsters and stuff.
Oh, sure.
So can I try to
Yeah.
figure out?
Yeah, so this would be that plus your IQ.
I resent this instantly.
Hey.
40, so 60 and up. 98.
What?
Which explodes.
Whoa, do it.
Oh.
Yeah, roll again.
91.
Wow, okay, so that's 189?
Yeah.
Plus what? Your skill of what?
Oh, my 5.
Well,
and
5,
demon lore 40.
40. So 45.
Yeah.
So,
No. It's a total 40. So lore is
40.
my demon lore is 35. My IQ is 5.
Okay, what did we say? 191?
Yeah.
So 231?
Yeah, are you excited by that?
I'm excited we got an exploding die on the first session. Are you excited by that?
Yeah.
Did that give you a little endorphin rush?
It did help me wake up a little bit more.
Oh my god, I'm sorry I'm putting you to sleep.
No, I mean, like there's so many things I'm thinking about.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, well done. I will say with the result that high, how to put this through your filter. Okay, so when you were growing up in the gladiator school, because you have this demon and monster lore skill, so you had to learn that somewhere.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that people just traded stories in the evenings.
Yeah.
And of course, what's a more badass story than talking about monsters, demons, all that kind of stuff. So you remember actually somebody telling the story about they didn't go by the name, right? They didn't say Stavros, but they said that oftentimes the dragon god Styphon will walk the earth in the form of a black-skinned elf.
Uh-oh. Oh no! He's tired of my mom, I think.
Baby, you got a Sith Lord going. Turn against your mother.
Basically.
Let the hate flow
Basically,
through you.
yeah. So I'm upset. I'm upset that this Wolfen is dead. That's very sad to me. It's upsetting. Mm-hmm. And it's also like, oh no, I saw the black dragon. But that's the dragon that my mom is dedicated to.
Mm-hmm. She's a big Styphon stan.
All right. So I want to get these other dragons involved to team up against Styphon.
Well, you got a whole monastery of blasphemers on the other side of the lake.
So okay, I want to be clear on this.
Yeah.
So this monastery or this temple is devoted to Styphon the Black. Period.
Well, no. The way that any Church of Dragonrite works is that they always honor all four dragons.
Okay.
But individual worshipers then go, I want to devote myself to whoever, right? And so, and that's their right to do that. Okay. So it's like kind of like a pantheon style temple, mm-hmm. But then it's like, oh, I'm a worshiper of Zeus, or I'm a worshiper of Hermes, or whatever, So.
Well, this is a weird development.
But she was talking about this monastery as being like a bunch of blasphemers, but she wouldn't really go into why they were blasphemers.
All right. So that was basically Styphon that talked to me. And why is he going? I thought my mom was a follower of his. Why isn't he happy with her? And this poor acolyte is dead for no reason. So I'm going to leave. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get out of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Yeah. And just close the grate and head back to my cell.
Okay.
What time of day? It's like probably dawn at this point.
Maybe, yeah. Getting there.
So I'm going to go back to her cell to see if she's awake.
Okay. So you go back and put your ear to the door, and you can hear some shuffling sounds as she's moving around.
Okay, so I knock.
Yes, come in.
I've seen the black dragon.
Ooh. All right, so she turns around and just gives you this big wolfen grin. And she says, I'm so pleased to hear that.
Saving my skin.
I know.
For now.
So do you want to leave it off there? You think that's a good
I think that's a good
place?
note to leave it on.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I agree.
You're running it, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, we could go a little further, but that's good.
Oh, is there more to...
Oh, I have all kinds of notes. But I think that is a good place to leave it off, so we will do that. Just metagamey-wise, just to make you aware of some options that lie ahead of you, you can multi-class into another occupational character class according to the rules. So basically what I wanted to do is give you some options if you want to do that. Like, you can continue on as a gladiator, right? Like, just continue being, going along that advancement track. Now, obviously, if you...
I don't really think that's, like, necessary.
Yeah, right. That's kind of why I was thinking about it. I'm like, things have shifted, right?
I haven't been playing at my cheerful as much, but things are kind of grim
things are a little
now.
grim. You're not, you're...
I'm not delusional.
It's just a sign of,
how dark
where you're
things
at.
are.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Sorry. All right, didn't mean to interrupt, sorry.
No, that's fine. So then, so there's that, and then, let's see.
So multi-class. So I don't think a gladiator is really helpful.
Yeah, because you're not really a gladiator anymore,
No.
are you? Yeah. All right. So if you continue on, now that you've had a dragon vision, as you say, you can save your own ass. Depends on how you feel about sticking around here. But obviously, your Sif would be like, I want to train you to be like a new priestess, basically. So you could go in the direction of becoming a priest. Priest OCC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The other option that I'll just float out there is that in Palladium 2nd edition, there is a occupational character class of warrior monk, and you could either train for that here in service to mom, or switch sides and go over to the blasphemers monastery and see what that's like and train there. So it's something to think about. But if you wanted to go down the warrior monk path, it's actually pretty badass. You get all this like stick fighting skills and
right.
Meditative powers and all this kind of. I mean, it's full on like Shaolin monk basically. So
okay,
yeah, just something to think about there.
All right.
So yeah, or you could just multi-class into like soldier if you just wanted to be like kind of a martial character who's just still using.
Well, if she
like,
trains me, wouldn't I
choppers and
be
whatnot.
like a warrior monk anyway?
It depends on the focus you want to put on it. Like, yeah, like if you want to kind of inherit her legacy, it would be as a priest. But if you want to just be like, I want to be a warrior for your church, then it would be warrior monk. Yeah. And then it would be a question of which side do you want to serve.
Okay. I have to think about it.
Yeah. And I'll work in the monastery into the next session.
Okay.
I have plans for that. So you'll get a chance to kind of get an idea of what they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just wanted to let you know about that option,
Okay.
mechanically speaking.
All right. That's helpful.
So, yeah.
Very good.
All right. Well, I just kind of try to lighten the mood a little bit,
What the hell?
Good session.
Okay, thank you.
What have you learned? I don't know.
No, just give me my character, my XP.
You want your XP, right. Oh yeah, you don't have to justify anything.
Nope.
All right, so
I think I played it well.
You played it very well, and you sang.
Where do I even put my points?
You sang memory. It's on there, upper left on the front page, somewhere in there.
Upper left.
Yeah, in that whole group of stuff where the level is and everything. There you go.
It's in the middle. All right, so
It's in the middle.
So what are the points here?
All right. Let's see here. That is 100, 250.
Oh my goodness.
That's how we're all feeling for Maneater right now. I feel for you.
You do. You should, because God, that sucked. 54-35.
God, that was a shitty session.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. You're really good at turning the screws, and I feel like.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, when's the next time I can level up?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you stick with
depending
Gladiator,
on my.
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, so I'll say great game, good job. You did a great job. You always bring it.
Thank you.
I can only hope to do as well as you on all of this. And yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And you're feeling a little tired at the beginning, but
I think we both were, but we're getting back into the swing of it.
We are. Yeah.
It's all good.
This
Try to do this more often.
This is intense. This isn't like, this really didn't feel, I don't know. It's darker than I thought it would be.
Well, I have to present some kind of a challenge, don't I?
Absolutely. I'm just thinking about the stuff with Laszlo and stuff. It didn't seem as dark, I guess.
Well, that's because you were naive young adventurers, you didn't know the stakes yet.
Oh man. That's not good. Well, okay. I mean, it's a great game. Great game.
I feel like I'm getting mixed messages.
No, it's just very dark.
Yeah, it is.
This is very dark. That's all.
Well, and you know me well enough to know that if I'm going this dark, it's only so I can set up for like some cool escapades.
Mm-hmm.
Escapades.
What? How was
Down
that?
the line.
Why did
It's like I have a soundboard.
Why did you instantly have that on? What in the world?
Just my DJing skills. What can I say?
That was instant, though.
Yeah, I saw it on the same list.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like right there.
That's
like,
great.
Oh, escapades.
Escapades. All right. Well,
All right.
we should leave on that note.
We'll live on that.
Okay.
All right. Until next time.
All right.